also know each other. And therefore, this is the reason why I decided to organize this event that will be held every 2 or 3 months, where the local Buiatric Association will have the opportunity of presenting themselves, of introducing themselves, and also to present the local situation. So we start this time with 2 associations, one from the other side of the world, from my point of view, that is from Costa Rica, and then another relatively close to me, that is from France. So, but I say relatively because I'm in this moment, I'm not in Italy, I am in Ethiopia, and I'm happy to inform all of you that very soon, so the association, the Ethiopian Association, Veterinary Association, has decided to apply for become a member of our association. Perhaps some of you remember that when I took over the presidency, I said I would like to involve, to have more involvement of the countries from Africa, from Eastern Asia, and therefore I'm very happy to let you know, to inform you that Ethiopian is, so the Veterinary Medical Association from Ethiopia is applying to be member. So I thank Dr. Boja Duguma and Dr. Theodoros Tesfaye, that are the president and the secretary of the association. So I don't want to let you waste, I don't want you waste time, and therefore I introduce our faculties of today. That is Dr. Daniel Zeledon from Costa Rica, that will introduce in the first part, in the first 30 minutes. We have allocated 30 minutes for every association, 30 minutes Daniel, and then the second association for today is Rafael Guateo, or I don't know whether it will be the one, or Philippe Camusette will be the speaker, the presenter, for the second part from the respectively. Daniel is from the Association de Buiatría de Costa Rica, and Rafael and Philippe are from the Société Nationale de Groupements Techniques Vétérinaire in France. So Daniel and Rafael and Philippe, thank you very much. I already see your screen. Therefore, Daniel, thank you very much. Unfortunately, the time in Costa Rica now is early in the morning, but I thank you that you were willing, you were available to present the Costa Rica Buiatric Association and the context you have been working for many years. Thank you, Daniel. I give you the floor.
Thank you, Arcangelo. And actually, I want to give my congratulations to Arcangelo. I think that this is a really nice thing to do, because it's really important for the Buiatricians to make a network and start working on this, because I think that every association has its strengths and its weaks, and so we can work together and try to make a better feel in the Buiatrics. So I'm gonna start talking a little bit about the background, because if I don't talk about the background of Costa Rica, you maybe don't understand, or you will not understand why we do the things the way that we do. So Costa Rica is a small country in Central America. I put this global map because sometimes people usually get confused of Costa Rica with Puerto Rico. Costa Rica is in Central America, it's not an island. We are between North America and South America. This is our flag. This is our coat of arms. You have maybe lately heard about Costa Rica in the Soccer World Cup. Please forget the match with Spain and try to remember the match with Germany. Here is a close-up of the global map, and if you see our location, we are in the almost in the same latitude that the Sahara Desert, but we are a really tropical country. We are just above of the equator, right? And also, it's really important to say that we are between North America and South America, and that makes us a bridge for the biodiversity of both continents. So it also gives us some ecological, let's say, advantage. This is a little video about Costa Rica. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing the sound of the video. Sorry.
Okay, your screen sharing is back. Yep.
Yeah, the thing is that when I started sharing, I didn't share the sound of the video. So now we are. Can you hear now?
No, no sound.
Oh,
Beautiful
sorry.
pictures, but no sound.
Sorry, excuse me. Let me see what's going on. It must has. Excuse me. It was working before.
But maybe the pictures speak for themselves.
Yeah, I'm gonna try with just with the pictures because it's not working. Sorry. Well, actually, this video is a little introduction for the tourism of Costa Rica. Actually, we have been known as the happiest or a very happy country. We have a lot of diversity in our country. We have immigrants from Africa, from Europe. So we have, and also we have native population in Costa Rica. We have a lot of forests. Actually, a third of our country is forest and are protected. So we are really, really rich in nature, and also we are very concerned about the nature. So about all of this, we have been a really good touristic destiny for many countries. So, and also the peace that we live here in Costa Rica is very important. So saying that, I would like to add that we are a small country. We have 51,000 square kilometers. We are 5 million ticos in Costa Rica. Costa Rican people are known in the world like by ticos. And our gross domestic product is $24,000 per capita. Actually, we are a developing country, and the strength of Costa Rica is that our economy is very oriented in the education. It's around 7% of our national budget is is oriented to education, and in the 60s or 50s, the economy was based on agriculture, but lately our economy is more dependent in corporate services for foreign companies, pharmaceutical companies, and also the tourism is a really, really important income for our country. So we are now not so dependent on agriculture and livestock. So that also makes the buiatric factories here in Costa Rica a little bit different, right? Another important fact for Costa Rica is the army abolishment. In 1988, Costa Rica abolished the army. This was the president at that time, José María Figueres Ferrer, and at that time he was trying to destroy this fort with this hammer. So this is a really important picture for our country. And this is the World Happiness Report, the 2022. And if you see here, Costa Rica is in the 23rd position in the ranking, and actually is the first country in Latin America in this ranking. And if you see, is the third country in America, just having before Canada and the United States. And this happiness ranking takes into account the perception of corruption, the generosity, freedom, healthy life expectancy, social support, and the gross and the GDP. So actually, Costa Rica is a really nice place. So another important thing is that Costa Rica is the first country in the world to reverse deforestation, right? And also our way to develop is this, the protection. The protection could be the engine for growth and prosperity, and also this way to think makes the livestock different, because we try to base our production in harmony with the environment. Let's say if you see, most of the livestock that we have here are in pastures, and also are really in contact with the forest, right? Since 1990, the country has doubled the size of its forest, while tripling its GDP per capita. So we are still growing our protected areas, and we are developing, and the country is developing. Is still that we are taking more area for being protected. For the 2025, Costa Rica will protect and conserve 100% of the coastal wetlands included and reported in the National Wetland Inventory. And also here takes action the buffalo. The buffalo is really is a very important species here in Costa Rica. The thing is that we have some grasses that are invading the wetlands, and the buffalo are being used to eat these grasses that are invading the wetlands, and try to protect the wetlands and the water sources. So And also the buffalo production are growing nowadays in Costa Rica. Costa Rica is committed to explore innovative conservation financing mechanism. Costa Rica now are very oriented in the regenerative livestock. We are starting to think in regenerate, not to sustain as in the past. So we are trying to give a little step forward in protecting our environment. This map is really interesting because each color that you see, it's a life zone. What is a life zone? A life zone is a zone that has its proper characteristics for rain, temperature. So, for example, these purple areas here usually are really very rainy, and the temperature gets really cold. Really cold for us is like 5 degrees Celsius, and this the greener or these green areas here can have more than 4,000 millimeters of rain yearly, and the temperature gets around 30 degrees Celsius. And in these yellow areas here, it can get less than 1,000 millimeters of rain yearly, and the temperature also gets around 30. So we have a lot of diversity of climates, of weathers in Costa Rica. So also it makes it different, the productions. For example, in these areas, in the high areas, we have milk productions, dairy productions. We have Holstein area, Holstein breeds, Jersey breeds. But in this area, in the areas that are more hotter and more rain, we usually have Bos Indicus cattle and also buffaloes. So talking about the cattle production, this is a survey or a poll made in 2020 by the government. So in this poll, they had that the total population of cattle in Costa Rica was almost 1,500,000 animals. We have around 1 million females and 400,000 males. And if you compare this, what says carne is a meat, beef cattle, and this is dairy cattle. So most of the cattle that we have in Costa Rica are beef cattle, and we have a small population of dairy cattle. But the thing is that the dairy cattle that we have, or the dairy industry that we have here, is very, very strong. We have an important cooperative that joins most of the dairy production of the country, and also we have what we call double purpose. I don't know if that term exists in English. So that there are animals that are tend for meat and milk also. Also, this is really important. If you see here, almost the 95% of the cattle in Costa Rica, the beef cattle, is in pasture. The animals that has been or that are indoors are the 2%. So most of the cattle that we have here is in pastures. So I would say that this is part of our belief that being, let's say, friendly with the environment, right? This is the reality of beef cattle, and this is the reality of dairy cattle. Almost 82% is in pastures. If you see here, this is a small video of Holstein cattle in the highlands in Costa Rica, and 15% are half time in pasture and half time indoors. Okay, here in Costa Rica, we have 3 veterinary schools, 2 that are public. The Universidad Técnica Nacional is the newest university teaching veterinary school. It's a really nice university because it has a big farm, almost 500 hectares with 500 animals. So, and the major or the teaching is based on cattle. So this school has an emphasis on buiatrics. The oldest school in Costa Rica is the Universidad Nacional, la Escuela de Medicina Veterinaria de la Universidad Nacional, is where I got graduated. It has a really good facilities with really good labs, and also is the only university that gives some postgraduate studies in veterinary medicine, and it has master degrees on sustainable animal production and tropical diseases. And there's a private veterinary school that is the Escuela de Medicina y Cirugía Veterinaria San Francisco de Asís. Okay, now I'm going to talk about a little bit about the Asociación de Buiatría Costa Rica. This group started around the 2012. We are part of the Colegio de Médicos Veterinarios de Costa Rica, let's say the official veterinary association. So we are part of the Colegio. This is our board. It's really nice because if you see the Colegio de Médicos Veterinarios, or the Costa Rican Veterinary Association, has around 2,500 vets. So we are a small population of veterinarians in Costa Rica. But if you see the code number of the board of the Buiatrics Association, if you see, most of the people are above the 1,000 number. What it means that most of the board are very young people. We just have, and Julian is not so old, but there are a lot of young people involved in our association. Let's say very proactive people. And the association started, or the Asociación de Buiatría de Costa Rica started like a group trying to look for continuing education. So this is a picture of around 2013, and this is a health management course that we organized. And if you see, most of them are really young people that participate on it. And this is a ultrasonography workshop that we did. This was with Dr. Nemi, also about reproductive ultrasonography. This was another 3 days course about buiatric toxicology. Also hand-on workshops. And I really like this picture because all these courses and continuing education that we have given in the past years also give the opportunity to the colleagues to gather, to share criteria, to share and to become friends. And I think that this is a really strength of our activities, to join the buiatricians in Costa Rica. For example, this is Dr. Eduardo Pacheco. He's one of the old guys working in Costa Rica, and he's in contact with the young guys, giving his advice to the young guys. So this is a really important thing of gathering, right? The Costa Rican Buiatrics Association became part of the World Buiatrics Association in 2016 in Dublin. In 2019, we held the Latin American Buiatrics Congress as part of the World Veterinary Association Congress. Actually, it was a really nice event. And the pandemic came, so we had to change a little bit our approach. So we started with the virtual activities, and it was interesting because it gave us the opportunity to get access to better speakers. For example, Stephen LeBlanc talked about the transition period in the cow. So otherwise, to have Dr. LeBlanc here would be really difficult. But with a Zoom call, we did the activity, and it was a really nice activity. We had many virtual activities. This is about tuberculosis speech about Doctora Gabriela Hernandez here. The National Animal Health Service is working really hard with tuberculosis, brucellosis. Actually, it has a really strong program for eradication of these diseases. And as one good thing that the pandemic brought was the virtual life, and also we take advantage of this. So we open our YouTube channel, and with the YouTube channel we have this collection of records that we have been gathering. Also, besides short activities, we also have done workshops. This is a 2 days workshops in freshman in parasitology. We are very concerned in the resistance of the anti-parasite drugs. So we have we did this workshop in order to try to refresh the knowledge of our colleagues in to do the diagnosis test in field in order to know if what is the burden of the parasites in cattle, so that we can take better decisions in the field. So this was a 2-day workshop. And also we are really close to the animal health service here in Costa Rica. This is a course that we have been helping with yearly. This is an accreditation for the vets to work in the dairy industry, mainly in the say in the dairy factories, maybe, in order to make sure about the quality and that the products are free of risks for the consumers, right? So this is an accreditation given by the animal service here in Costa Rica, and we help organizing or the Costa Rican Buiatric Association helps giving this accreditation. And also an important thing that we have been working with or in is these discussions have been very healthy, because in these discussions we realize that there are people charging for their services more or less, or not the necessary. So we start a survey, like a poll, to ask our colleagues how much they were charging for their services. So we make this this fee list to recommend our colleagues how much to charge for their services. So this is not mandatory, but it could be a start to take into account how much to charge, and try to let's say, to generate a better competence or between the colleagues, right? What are our challenges? The educational opportunities, of course. We have little research. As a developing countries, we don't generate much knowledge, so it is important to get to the let's say, to the developed countries scientific production, in order that we can improve our practice here in our country. We have tried with the continuing education, we have tried bringing colleagues, but I think that is necessary to have more contact with very or with the latest scientific information that we can have. Also, it's important to improve productivity. As I told you, we are in pasture or in pasture based cattle production. So I think that it could be the future, because it can be more nature friendly, this kind of productivity or this kind of production, but the productivity is not so high. So we have to improve this in terms of also not forgetting being environment friendly, right? Another challenge that we have is the drugs availability. We are not a big market, so many companies are not very interested to register their products here in Costa Rica. It's not profitable for them. So most of the, or in many cases, we lack drugs to treat our animals. So this is a challenge that we have. And another challenge is the research. For example, and the research gather information it would be a really nice thing to do, because we have been working here with high temperature, with heat stress. We have been doing process breed process to try to fight this. But and with climate change, I would say that the condition that we have here in Costa Rica could be the condition that many countries in the future can have. So the information that we already have here or the work that we already have here could be of value for the rest of the world. And also we have been fighting, for example, for a long time with ticks, and maybe in other countries, ticks can be a really plague in the next years. So we already have experience with this. So I think that this opportunity that Arcangelo has given us to share that this reality that we in each country have could be a nice start to work with in the networking that we can do in next years and try to support each other in the buiatric practice. This is our Jersey cows grazing happily in Costa Rica. So as they are happy, I hope to see you soon in Costa Rica and have you here happy with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much for the presentations. There are many aspects that show that Costa Rica is a very active, young, and motivated country. I would say now I give immediately the floor to French colleagues, and eventually we can keep the discussion for the last part in order to give the possibility to the person that would like just only to hear and they have as a commitment to leave us, and then we will have some more time eventually for us, for the people that would like to stay a little bit longer. Therefore, thank you, Daniel. Much appreciated what you show, really very nice. If all countries could abolish army or start to reverse deforestation in the world, we really would have a better world. Now, Philippe and Raphael, please. Thank you. Please, the floor is yours. I see that your presentation is already online. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yes. Okay. So that presentation will be with two voices, mine and Raphael one's. So I will apologize for my bad English. I'm just a practitioner, and so I'm not speaking English very often. And so working very hard now because of desertification in our country. I have the time to work my English each day, and so I want you to apologize all my mistakes in English. So our presentation will be nearly converse on the presentation of Daniel, because we'll introduce ourselves between showing all our concerns for vet in France. But many of them are joining Daniel's ones for ecology, for global warming process, for One Earth. I think we are joining us for all that. So first, just a picture about cattle breeding in France. 4 million, of course, for dairy cows, 4 million, of course, for beef cows. Many dairy ones are in the west of France, you can see, and for beef cattle, it is in the center. The main breeds are Holstein and No1 in France, but main is Holstein, and more it is Holstein cows. And for beef cattle, it is Charolais, Limousin, and Blonde d'Aquitaine now. But the two last breeds are more and more important because of their calving very easy in front of Charolais with Caesarean, for example. And so you can see that areas that are rather specialized for dairy and cattle and beef cattle, but For example, I'm working here in Normandy here, and in my practice, I work with 2/3 dairy cows and 1/3 beef cattle. And so I think for many of my colleagues in the field, it is very a mixed activity for dairy and beef cattle with cesarean and with obstetric. And so what we are seeing in our country, that the herds are growing more and more. But for example, in my country, you have very large cattle. For us, large cattle is 200 dairy cows and 150 beef cows and suckler cows. I think in other countries bigger, but in France that is the middle size. And so we keep very little herds with 10, 15, 20 cows with a very ecological approach and a sustainable way of breeding. As it is very interesting. It joined what Daniel was saying to us previously. And so what another particularity of our country is that we are producing a processed milk, pasteurized one, and so raw milk, because we have a gastronomic tradition about cheese, about yogurt, about eating raw produces. And so for us, for vets, it is very interesting to accompany all that kinds of way of breeding cows and cows, goats, and sheep and all that, because it is a very various approach, and so it is an ecological for many of them an ecological approach. We are in country very different than Costa Rica, of course, but our future is passing by that kind of approach, I think. And in that kind of approach too, we have more and more organic farms, and sometimes we have crossbreed that to join that production. So. We have also, that is a French tradition, veal calves that are reared indoors. We are eating in France calves that are slaughtered nearly at 6 months with a very white meat. And they are eaten, fed with milk and to have that very white meat. It is particularly in France, I think, and we have, of course, fattening units, but they are less developed than in Italy, for example, or in USA, for example. And so, who are we? I will become to introduce myself, and after I will give the voice to Raphael. Me, I'm an old practitioner. I'm 62 now. Practitioner since 1984 in Normandy, northwest of France, with a practice with 2/3 dairy cows and 1/3 suckler cows. We are 12 vets on 2 locations with 15 assistants, and we are following up 30,000 cattle heads, I think. For myself, my 2 grandfathers were farmers, and I spent my childness, I don't know the word in France, when I was child, of course, in the farm, and that's why I'm completely passionate of cattle and buiatric too. I'm convinced too that you have to take a part to continue education in the proportion of our competence. And for myself, I began to work with the Paratology Commission of SNGTV in 1987, and After I was the treasurer of that association from 2000 to 2006, and I was the president of SNGTV contracts from 2000 and 2010, when I met Emile Bouchard, for example, that helped us to join you that year. And I'm a member of the European College for Bovine Health Management since 2005, with a de facto recognition for all my publication and my training for my colleagues. So I will give the voice to Raphael that will introduce him.
Thank you, Peter, for activating my mic. So good afternoon, everyone. So thanks to Philippe for his kind introduction. So my name is Raphael Guateo. I'm a vet. I work as a professor in ruminant health management in Oniris, which is the vet faculty in Nantes, in the western part of France, close to the city of Asterix, if you are familiar with the cartoon. So I teach both individual and population medicine, mainly a bit of epidemiology and welfare too, and I do research mainly on infectious and production disease. And it was mentioned by Philippe, we have also strong implication in the different college of specialization. And for my part, I'm diplomate of ECBHM and also the College of Animal Welfare and Behavioral Medicine. And in the past, I was as Arcangelo and Ingrid, and hello Ingrid, I see that you are in the list of participants, one of the president of this college for 2 years, from 2017 to 2019. And at the moment, I'm a secretary of EBVS, which is the European umbrella who manage veterinary specialization. And if you can move to the next slide, Philippe, please, we would like maybe to give you another view about the story of Buiatric in France. And so as it is mentioned in this slide, for us, it's a long history and a very strong legacy. Because in 72, the Société Française de Buiatrie, so the French Buiatric Society, was founded by Jacques Espinasse, which is one of the former of the president of the WAB, especially in the 80s. And so really the philosophy and the background of this French society was to combine and to join both academics and also practitioners. So in a way to deliver the best evidence from a scientific point of view, but to have also a very strong link with the field, and especially to have discussion and share some issues and application or possibility of application with practitioners. And we had also a lot of presentation from the practitioners themselves during these congresses. For sure, for long decades, the French Buiatric Society was, for France, the member of WAB, and we had also a leading working group within that association, which was led by Hervé Nafta, especially on calf health. And so, as you can see on the next slide, so I don't know who is playing with the with the whiteboard, but the French Buiatric Society organized in the past some very big congresses. So for sure, the World Buiatric Congress in 2006 in Nice, and it was really a very big event with a lot of persons coming to the French Riviera. But we had also French national congresses, but organized by the French Buiatric Society. We have also another congress, which is organized by SNGTV, and Philippe, we will give you some insight about that. And so this French Buiatric Society organized every year a 2-day congress with invited speakers from all over Europe and even outside from Europe. And so we more recently, we would like to open in more, I would say, European perspective, these congresses. And so in 2009 and 2011, probably in 13, we organized in Marseille a European Buiatric Forum. But we had to admit and observe that we had a gradual disappearance of events organized in France. And it was mainly, I would say, a willingness, especially of the sponsor, to offer other location to the participants, leading to organize the last 2 congresses organized by the French Buiatric Society in Rome in 2015 and in Bilbao in 2017. But unfortunately, this society was, let's say, relies on a very restricted number of members. And for financial reasons, the French Buiatric Society disappeared definitely in 2021. And then we need, I would say, at this time to renew the French participation to the WAB and to make officially recognized the SNGTV and the Buiatric College at the French representative at the WAB executive committee. So on the next slide. Or at the board, sorry.
So for us, for practitioners that were completely passionate for bariatrics, it was no way to stop the bariatric concern. And so you will see the story. We will start with practitioners and academics, and we wanted inside of the SNGTV to create a bariatric college for that. First, what is SNGTV? Well, SNGTV is a National Society of Veterinary Technical Groups. It was a very old association. It was created in 1966. From in French other associations, and it is now completely independent. And so at the beginning it was a federation for department association, and now it is for a region association. We have nearly 2,200 members that and represent nearly 80% of the most important practice in France. Some non-practitioners are academics, like Raphael, for example, or people from laboratories that are backing us. And so we have many students that are joining us from the vet school in France, but also in Romania, in Timișoara or in Cluj. And inside our federation, we have 18 technical commissions. The first one were only for cows and cattle, with milk quality, parasitology, dairy cows, beef cows, welfare. But now we are addressing all the issues with production, animal production in France, from fishes to bees, passing by rabbits, and so on and so on. And at the beginning, our association will only for continued education and for training vets with specialists. I'm specialist in parasitology, for example. Raphael is specialist in fièvre Q, or Q fever, or lameness. And so that was our first mission, training our colleagues and to heighten our technical level to face all the problematics of cattle breeding. But now more and more our association is working with the French government, the Ministry of Agriculture, and all our structures are working with cattle, with animal pollution. And for myself, I was working with the Ministry of Ecology in France about impact of antiparasitic drugs on ecology, on natural white areas, for example. And so more and more our activity is a representation and to address other problems than the pure problem of cattle health, for example, and addressing one health, ecotoxicology, and so on. And so our main mission, our main work is to address continuing professional education. And so we are implementing nearly one training a week, and so local ones. So now with the COVID, tele trainings with visio and short visio conference. For example, we have an annual congress that is sometimes in Nantes, sometimes in Reims. We are changing the place. With 100 speakers nearly, and more than 1,000 attendees. And so that is a big congress, 3 days congress, and now with an international day that we speak after. We have a book that we are publishing each 2 months, and that is named Bulletin des GTV, with practitioners' papers, and also academics, and also very technical issues. And we try to develop a partnership with sister association with Belgium, with Switzerland, with North Africa, for example. We have also, of course, now a website which presents our work of education, our publication with a bulletin and our congress. So inside of SNCTV, when the Society for French Buiatrics disappeared, we decided to create a French college for Buiatrics, because we don't want to see that disappear on the French landscape. So in 2019, 2020, during our Congress, some of us, practitioners, met François Selcher, that was in the board of Buiatrics, and Sébastien Says, that was the last president. And we decided for the rebirth of the French Buiatrics, we contact Emile to have advisement about that. And then we present the project to the board of SNGTV that agrees our work. And so the composition of the college is 3 academics now: François Selcher, Raphaël, that is beside me, and Guillaume Belbis, that was a teacher in the Maison Alfort School, but now he is working in private practice. Nearly all the diplomates of SCVHM from SNGTV are joined us. Our presidents of Buiatric Commission, and some members of SNGTV board. And we have some people that are abroad, that Edouard Timsit, that now is in SCVHM 2, that working for the laboratory SEVA, Frédéric Lemarchand, that was a teacher in Nantes many years ago, and that now is working for Zoetis. Sébastien Buxensis is working in Canada, and Jean-François Valarcher, that is working in Sweden and with specialized work about BRD. So what is, I'm saying it is more important for you and for us, that our projects and what we want to do. We want to make that college, the Buiatric College, a platform for our young diplomates, our young vets that passionate from Buiatric. As I told you, I'm 62. I'm at the end of my career. And I work for them, for all the young people to continue to work with cattle, with passion, and with a very high technical level. And so in that we want to work with a win-win collaboration with academics, with working of weak signals that are given by the field, and to dig all the problems we can meet in cattle production. So we are working and we are collaborating to Bulletin des GTV, with writing technical papers and on technical advances, but also of controversial issues. For example, in the last publication, we have a very nice paper with the use of rate rating formulations in car, for example. We are sharing our times and participating to the SNGTV Congress. That year we have an international day with David Blacks that came, that Bart Pardon from Belgium, I don't remember the name, but a colleague from USA about herd management, reproduction, ultrasound scan, for example. In 2023, it will be about respiratory syndromes. In 2024, bovine reproduction, and maybe in 2025 about sustainable wet activity, global warming process, biodiversity, and things. We have many things to say about that. And so that can seem relatively elitist about that way to work, but we want to have very strong interaction with our colleagues on the field about work signals, and because we want also to promote our way of work and to give a very huge interest for young colleagues that are coming on the field, and work to prevent the desertification in France that has in very many countries, and they're occurring in many countries. At global level, I spoke a view of that World Buiatric session during our Congress each year, that is an international one. But we want to invite you to and that is a bridge to Arcangelo, to invite the General Assembly of CBHM. And maybe to organize another European Congress, and to organize a World Buiatric Congress, where a kind of expertise on big Congress, and the last Congress in France was in 2004-06. I don't know exactly. Raphael told us previously, and so that would be for us a very huge challenge to organize a World Buiatric Congress. Raphael, your microphone.
Oh, yeah, sorry, excuse me, the mic was off. Thanks, Philippe. So I would like to finish the presentation by listing, I would say, what are currently our main concerns, and maybe to give you some insight and figures. First, to begin on the next slide about the demographics and statistics. So Philippe, if you can move to the next slide, please. Thank you. So in France, at the moment, we have approximately 22,000 vets working in practice. And among us, as you can see here, you have a bit more than 6,500 vets working in the rural area. I would say at the moment, we still have more men than women, than female, but it won't be for long, because you can see the demographics by age on the top of the bottom of the slide, and as you can see for sure, but I think it's a very strong tendency everywhere in the world. At the moment in the faculties, we have probably 80 to 85% of students who are female. Okay, and at the moment, I would say that the main concern that we are facing are the willingness of the young vets not to working for full-time job, but mainly partial time, which is not something very common at the moment still in cattle practice. It's maybe more frequent and more, let's say, usual in small animal practice, but at the moment this is one of the concerns. And the other one is that when you look at the demographics, the statistics, and also the attractiveness of the work in the rural sectors, we expect, or at least we have some projection, we identify that we will lack probably 1,000 of vets in the next 10 years. So we are facing a very big challenge of still being very attractive. Huh? But if you want my opinion, but we will be happy to answer your question about that and to share also your opinion. I think it's not a problem of attractivity. It's more a question of sustainability for a couple, a wife and a man, to live maybe in the countryside. On the next slide, you can see also the Philippe, if you can move on the next one. Yes, so I think it's really, as it was mentioned by Philippe, really one of the big motivation for our college in France to attract, to increase the attractiveness of working in the cattle sectors. So, and ruminants in general. So as you can see on the next slide, what can we say about the young stock? I'm not sure that if it's a good word, but I think that for cattle practitioner, it makes sense. At the moment in France, we are 4 vet school, 4 national vet school. So the historic one is based in Lyon. The second one created in the history was Maison Alfort. The third one was Toulouse. And the last one, the youngest one is Nantes, where I work, which was created in 79. And we have, since 1 year now, the first private vet school, which opened in Rouen. We can consider that we have between 4 and 5 vet schools in France, but we have also what we can call or consider as not really French faculties, but faculties within the vast majority of the students are from France. And so, namely, for instance, the faculty of Liège in Belgium, Valencia in Spain, Cluj, Timișoara, but also other countries which welcome a lot of vet students of all around the world, and especially from France. And just to give you an idea, if you want to work as a vet in France, you need to be registered at Ordre des Vétérinaires. And approximately 50% of the vets registered in France every year to work as a vet practitioner are graduated outside from France. The main problem that we have at the moment is the fact that we have 25% approximately of the vets which are graduated, which do not work anymore as a vet 5 to 6 years after being graduated. So it's more a problem of sustainability, as I told you before, rather than attractivity. And last but not least, we have also some desertification, some areas where it's very hard to find a physician, a vet, whatever you want. You are really far from everything. And so we have at the moment some very strong initiative from the government to support or to incite the person to leave and to come to work in some very rural areas. And so on the next slide, I think it's one of the options for us to stay attractive regarding especially the young generation is to work on what we call a rural 2.0 to show that we can also use some digital tools, some application on the smartphone, some IoT also, Internet of Things, precision livestock farming, etc. And that altogether, all these tools could contribute to facilitate the work. So I will say first, for sure, to increase the health and the welfare of the animals, but also maybe the welfare of the farmers. And last but not least, the welfare of the vet too. It's a one welfare approach. And on the next slide, maybe the one of the last for me, I think we are really trying several, I will say, initiative really to first. The first one is to modify or at least to increase the diversity of the young person coming into the vet school. So for the first time last year, we had an innovation regarding the recruitment in the vet school immediately after baccalaureate. Usually it was after 2 years of preparation and a very strong exam. So we are trying to develop the way of recruitment. It's one of the point. And the other one is also to, as it is mentioned on the slide, to make them dream and to make the young dream. And I think that at the moment, at least this is our gut feeling when we discuss with the young vet students and the young vets, they want to contribute to issues that are from their perspective very important in terms of social impact, of ecological impact. So as it was mentioned by Philippe, the One Health concept for sure is something very important to them. The fact of contributing to a more sustainable agriculture and breeding, have a contribution also to reduce the global warming process, to have a very active part on that. And last but not least, to participate to the improvement of animal welfare. And so I think these are also the topics that we would like to take into account within our college, to promote them, to deliver the best evidence on that, once again, with a strong link with the fields, to once again to increase the attractiveness of the jobs. So Philippe, I think to conclude.
I have just to conclude. All that dreams are the same dreams that of my children. My 3 children are between 28 and 33 years old, and when I'm speaking with us, that's what they want for their future. And I think what is important for us is to have a real value of our work. Of course, to hear animals, it is very important, but to have a large smile, to come to work in a practice every day, you have to be completely convinced of our role in the society. And I think we join completely what Daniel was saying previously. It is very important seems to be useful for cattle, but also for the society. And I think in our college, we have the member of the college. I think I'm the older one, with 62 years old, and the youngest is nearly 30 years old. And we want to promote all that kind of work, and to be very useful to cattle, but also for the society and for the One Health concept. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Really, I really appreciate it. So first of all, I thank you before you took that you have taken over the office of the French Buiatric Association, because the former French Buiatric Association was so important for us, and they have a very good memory of Professor Espinas and also Hervé Navetat and the congresses that and the role that they had in the World Buiatric Association. And you, Felipe and Raphael, you put so many inputs, so many issues on the table that perhaps we as a World Buiatric Association, we can take into consideration for further webinar or further moment of discussion. Really a lot also in respect to the veterinary education, or to the impact of to the role, to the future of the rural veterinarians. So therefore, but it is not now the moment. I really thank you. Before, because I suppose that somebody had planned only around 1 hour for this webinar, but don't worry, I would like to keep some more time also for discussion. I would like to greet and to thank you and to greet the person that now will have to leave the webinar, just to remind and to anticipate that the next webinar that will be around the end of February, beginning of March, we'll have the presentation of two associations that are in the Mediterranean area, and precisely the Turkish Farm Animal Veterinary Medicine Association. Professor Batmas, I saw him in the room, will introduce, and moreover, Turkey, Istanbul, is the one that will organize the Congress in 2026. And the other association that will introduce itself is a new association, a new entry in our as our members, and it is a Medical Veterinary International Association from Tunisia. And I also saw Dr. Mohamed Metnani in the room. Therefore, we will have we will go in the Mediterranean area, and they will present us their reality. So thank you very much. I don't know now from the floor if there are questions both for Daniel, for Philippe, or for Raphael. I will start the discussion. I would say we give us, if needed, 10-15 minutes. I don't want to take advantage of your time, but please, if there are some questions from the floor, perhaps I saw also in the meantime there are coming some the chat, some greeting and thanks. I saw also here from some colleagues from Africa. I'm very happy. I told you I am now in Africa, and I already mentioned the fact that the Ethiopian country will join us. I don't know whether, because there are big differences, and as far as I could see, also it seems to be that Costa Rica is a country where everybody are happy, and in the French, perhaps as we as a European, we always have a lot of concern. So it seems to be, and therefore this is perhaps also a difference in in the mentality. We always, as a European, we are used to complain, to always complain. We are never happy. We are never. Perhaps we have to learn from Daniel and from Costa Rican countries, from Central America, or perhaps Daniel, we can change. And I am happy because also this kind of seminar was thought, so on my intention was to try to create or to implement a network among the local buiatric associations. So we have to encourage exchange of experience. We have seen two different experiences from two different parts in the world, but also why not? Why perhaps it might also make easier to develop some common project or lobbying with benefit for the buiatric professional work at all levels. Therefore, who knows? I think if some of the present then will have some questions, perhaps, or some ideas that can be developed. And moreover, if we to Daniel, and also I think Daniel mentioned the fact that one of the goals of the Buiatric Association in Costa Rica was to become friends. And this is also the reason why I wanted to develop this kind of webinar. The majority of us are already friends, but now we can increase. And I mean, for example, also at the next Congress that I remind you will be in Cancun in May 2024. Perhaps if we meet Daniel or Rafael or Philippe, and then we can say, hey, you are from Costa Rica. We have the same problem, or so whatever we can find. So I don't know whether there are questions. Perhaps there are. If somebody
at the moment, I don't see any question in the chat. No, not for the moment.
You don't see. Anyway, so I am nevertheless I am very happy. I am very happy. I see now Beriu is from Ethiopia. This ideas is a wonderful, innovative idea to connect and share good practice. Boja is also from Ethiopia. I'm very happy. I am now in Ethiopia. I'm happy that they are not here, so we are not in the same place. Dr. Boja is a country representative. So really, and you know, my intention is to increase the number of the association, and moreover, to make the association more involved in the life of the WAB. The WAB is association, but an association is valid if the members are active and not only theoretically. Therefore, there are other associations that I will contact directly just to, do you know, Diego Robles, do you know if there is a Buiatric Association in Colombia? In Colombia, and I don't, yes, we have the Asociación Colombiana de Buiatría, and with the president that was founded in 1998. I'm just giving a look in our database. I can tell you who is the president, Sanchez Camilo Espinosa, and also we have the address. Now I've lost the who was asking this? I have lost now. I'm not so.
Diego Robles from Colombia.
Yes, Diego Robles. Yes, we have, and I will contact them. I think if you like to contact directly, you can send us an email and we can forward you. You can send to Peter or to me. The address is secretary@buiatrics.com. Buiatrics.com. So secretary@buiatrics.com, and we can send you the email address of the association. Thank you for your question. So this is also the reason why we want to have more active. Yes, information call buiatria.com. This is Rafael, this is the address.
Yeah, this is the email that we have at the moment on the website, I think, to contact the Colombian Buiatric Association.
Exactly. So
I will check our database. Maybe I have more contact addresses.
Exactly. So therefore, and also this webinar is open to everybody. We have as a webinar, as a World Buiatric Association, we have a mailing list that we are trying to update, and therefore, and the webinar is open to everybody. And this might be also the way to get in touch, because somebody doesn't know eventually, as Diego probably, that in the country there are the association. So Mohamed Metnani from Tunisia. Mohamed, please, you raise the hand. You are also the next speaker at the end of February. Mohamed, switch on the...
I'm just trying to get his mic free, but he has no mic.
Ah, yeah, because you have to do the microphone.
Yeah. But there's no mic to activate.
Perhaps now you can activate also the microphone.
No, there is no mic. That's the problem.
Mohamed.
Wait a moment.
So the technology is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes it's tricky. There's only
Daniel,
a camera, but no microphone on this link.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Maybe Professor Money, he could ask in the chat his question.
Yeah. And Daniel, you have experienced what we experience every time we have a presentation. There is always something that doesn't work, and the video is the worst. It's the worst. Therefore, don't worry. It is always something that we have to take into consideration.
I think these beautiful pictures spoke for themselves. You don't need any voice.
So I don't see the chat of Mohamed.
No, there is not. No, there is nothing in the chat, I guess.
No.
Okay, so also we have now. So I'm happy because we had participants from all over the world. From I saw also Emile from Canada, from Peru, from Chile, from Costa Rica, UK, Africa, Italy, Germany, everything. Therefore, Brazil. Yes, we are from Brazil. I see. Thank you. Poland, Paulina. Yes. Therefore, yes, I would say all continents are represented here. Yes, therefore, I don't want you...
Sorry,
yes?
Otto Roscenzi is just raising his hand. Please put on your microphone.
Okay. Yeah, Otto, please. Otto from Hungary.
Yeah.
Our previous secretary.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we hear you.
I would like to show you our new book, this bovine prenatal, perinatal, and neonatal medicine, which was published recently. So I would like to send you all of the national associations some kind of information about this book, because this book tries to cover from fertilization until weaning of the newborn calf.
Otto, maybe you could give me a short text on the book, and I put it on our news on the website.
Okay, thank you very much. I will do it.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, thank you, Otto. Yeah, because also this can be an opportunity to share also the presence or the availability of books that can be useful for us, for practitioners, and for students. From the chat, also Takeshi, so from Asia, so very good, so very happy for your presence. So therefore, I don't want you to waste time. So the next webinar of presentation will be at the end of February. I am trying also to organize some webinar. I know that there are many webinars available in the web, in the world now, but I would like to see, and I hope that I will be able to organize a webinar in January on the role of the former OAE, now is the World Organization for Animal Health, just on the role of the World Organization for Animal Health in respect to cattle medicine. And also all the topics that were raised during the presentation will be considered. I will, and Peter, do we think we can put the webinar online in our webpage?
I recorded the webinar, and I will talk with Ricardo how to put it on the social media.
Yeah, but first we have to ask the permission to Raphael, Philippe, and Daniel.
Yes, of course.
It's fine with me.
It's fine with me, no problem.
Fine with you. That's fantastic.
Mm.
So I will manage that with Ricardo and our social media channels.
Perfect. Okay, so thank you very much to everybody. I'm very happy. Thank you for the
Yeah,
participation.
thank you.
Peter, thank you for the organization. It was fantastic. I was afraid I had some concern because the internet sometimes is not working, or there are always some problem. Everything worked perfectly. So have a nice evening for the ones that are close to dinner. Have a nice day for Daniel from the other part of the world. Thank you very much. And
Thank
see
you. Bye-bye.
And I take advantage for wishing you a good, a nice and healthy Christmas period for coming.
Same for you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Raphael. Thank you, Philippe. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Daniel. Bye-bye.